At the edge of one parish, where the fields thinned into unmanaged land, there stood a small stone church with carvings worn smooth by centuries of weather and hands. The church was older than the village that surrounded it. Its stones had been lifted from the hillside long before the road was laid, before the fields were hedged and numbered. People said it had always been there, that it had simply risen from the ground when it was needed. Above the north door, half erased, was a face no one remembered being carved. Leaves curled from its mouth, their edges worn smooth as if touched countless times. Roots threaded through the eye sockets. The expression was wrong, not fierce, not gentle, simply alert. The stone around it was ancient, older than the wall itself. A man came to the parish one spring to take over the land bordering the woods. He had plans: drainage, clearing, fencing. The old boundary markers were in his way, and the trees beyond them seemed wild rather than useful. He paid little attention to the church. When the clearing began, the man found the soil dark and rich, but resistant. Roots twisted deeper than expected. Saplings grew back almost as quickly as they were cut. The man swore he saw leaves moving where there was no wind. He continued work anyway. The first sign came quietly. Tools left overnight were found overgrown with ivy by morning. A shovel handle split as if pressure had been applied from the inside. The cut stumps wept sap long after they should have dried. The landowner dismissed it. Weather, he said. Poor ground. Old growth behaving badly. He doubled the hours and brought in more men. They worked until night. By the next morning, the boundary fence had shifted. Posts that had been driven deep now leaned inward, as though the land itself had drawn them closer together. The cleared edge of the wood no longer followed the measured line marked on the maps. The men refused to work the far end of the field after that. They said the air there felt thicker, that the light dimmed too early beneath the trees. One claimed that when he rested his hand against a trunk, he felt something press back, slow, deliberate, warm. The landowner went himself to see. He stood at the new edge of the clearing, boots sinking slightly into soil that should have been firm. The church was visible from there, its stone pale against the green. He glanced at it only briefly, then turned his attention to the wood. The face above the north door watched. That afternoon, the landowner ordered the largest tree felled. The oak took 3 men and most of the day. When it finally came down, the sound was not the crack of wood, but something closer to a sigh. Long, low, and carried through the ground. That night, the landowner did not sleep. Vines brushed the windows, roots knocked softly beneath the floorboards, as if testing. He dreamed of standing knee-deep in leaves while faces emerged from bark around him. All watching, all waiting. By morning, his fields were smaller. The boundary stones lay half-buried where no one had placed them. The cleared land had softened, green shoots already rising through churned earth. Above the north door, the face continued to watch. Leaves curled from its lips. Its eyes were hollow but full of shadow. Not angry, not kind, expectant. The landowner understood then. This land had never been empty, never unclaimed. The church had not marked ownership, it had marked agreement. He left the parish before summer's end, sold what he could, let the rest go. The fences rotted where they stood, the fields narrowed year by year. The wood reclaimed its edge without haste, and the face above the north door softened again, its features worn back toward silence. The villagers still walk past the church. They still touch the stone as they pass. They do not speak of what lies beyond the hedges, but they know this much. The green does not punish. It remembers, and it takes back what was never truly given. In the old accounts, the Green Man is not named as such. He simply exists. growing, dying, and returning. In ancient Britain, trees were sacred. Forests were not resources, they were living presences. To cut a tree was to risk angering what lived within it. The Green Man was the face of that belief. One of the Green Man's greatest mysteries is where he appears. Not in pagan temples, not in standing stones, but in Christian churches. Some carvings show him almost hidden, pushed into corners, half buried in decoration. Others place him boldly above doorways. Why would a pagan figure survive inside sacred Christian spaces? The answer may be simple. When Christianity spread across Britain, it did not erase the old beliefs, it absorbed them. The Green Man was allowed to stay, as long as he remained silent, a reminder that faith could change, but the land did not. The Green Man appears across Britain in places of order: churches, cathedrals, civic buildings. His face emerges from stone meant to represent permanence, authority, and structure. This placement is deliberate. He is growth and decay entwined, carved into places meant to resist both. The Green Man is not only a symbol of life, he is also a symbol of death. In this way, the Green Man teaches a quiet truth. Nothing grows without something else dying. He is spring and autumn at once, birth and burial intertwined. In times of plague, famine, and war, this cycle offered comfort. Death was not an ending, it was a return. This is why the Green Man survived Christianization. He was not erased because he was not in opposition. He represented a truth even institutions could not deny: that humanity exists within nature, not above it. In the modern world, the Green Man is often romanticized. He is printed on festival posters, used as a symbol of environmentalism, treated as a friendly echo of a gentler past. But this too misses the point. The Green Man is not about harmony without effort, he is about responsibility. He suggests that balance must be actively maintained, that the boundary between control and chaos is not fixed, but tended. Today, nature no longer presses visibly against our doors, but its absence has created a different unease. People feel disconnected from land, from cycles, from one another. Growth is expected without decay, progress without cost, structure without meaning. The Green Man speaks into that discomfort. He reminds us that denying natural limits produces distortion, that suppressing decay does not stop it, it hides it. That when humanity refuses to recognize its place within larger systems, those systems do not vanish. They push back. He is not a solution. He is a memory. The Green Man does not move. He does not call out. He waits in stone, watching generations pass beneath his gaze. People enter and leave. Beliefs change. Names fade. The face remains, not because it demands attention, but because he simply waits. When the boundaries fray and the ground is taken for granted, the green returns, quietly, inevitably. There are faces still watching from the edges of our world, stories pressed into stone and soil, warnings that were never meant to be loud. If you wish to hear them, subscribe to Whispered Folklore.